Hello and welcome my dear 3rd standard little champs. This is Rohan sir from Mehdi English Medium School. I welcome my all dear 3rd standard little champs once again in science lecture. How have you been, students? I hope you all were taking good care of yourselves and of your family members too, and you were not going out unnecessarily. My dear little champs, I hope that you enjoyed your vacation time a lot. And along with enjoyment, you also completed your homework given to you for all the subjects. My dear little gems, now as you know that your internal test is approaching, you will have to prepare well for that. And one very good thing is that nothing new is going to be asked in any subject in your internal test. That means whatever you have done before vacation, till that you just have to prepare it again, as only that much portion is going to come in every subject. So my focus will be on revising few points and few chapters I feel which is necessary for you to do so. So I hope you all are back and you all are ready with all new energy in yourself. So my dear students, please sit with your textbook, as I now know that now 90% of the students are having the textbook with them, and those who are not having, they might be having at least the PDF file with them. So my dear students, we are going to start with the revision of chapter number 5, 6 and 7. I have already given you the overview of chapter 1 to 4 in the previous lecture, but now I feel that chapter 5, 6 and 7 needs to be revised from detail from the textbook. Now there is no meaning of revising question answers and objectives and etc. things, because this is what we have done a whole lot of time before vacation. So I thought let's revise it from the textbook itself. So I am going to present the textbook here and then we are going to revise it from that. So even those who are not having the textbook, they will be able to look into the screen and revise from the screen itself. Now in the screen I might have cropped and cut the page in the way I want to revise it. So that is the reason why am I asking you to hold the textbook with you. Even you can hold the rough book. Whenever you want something to note it down, you can note it down in that. So let's get started with today's lecture. I hope you all are rejuvenated now with a fresh mind, are ready to enjoy the new lecture. So what are we going to do? Simple revision, explanation. So here few points which I think that I should emphasize on, I am going to do so. So I hope you all are ready with that. So my dear little champs, as you can see now on your screens, chapter 5 I have displayed the textbook. Chapter 5, solids, liquids and gases. Now I know those who have watched my previous lectures carefully, they must be eager to watch this because they are revising this. Those who failed to see the explanation video previously, now they have the good opportunity to again grasp all the points which they have missed out. So here this chapter is on solid, liquid and gases. So now let's get started with the reading part and the explanation part for the same. You know that water exists in the different forms. Identify the 3 forms of the water shown in the picture given below. Write the name of each form in the space provided. So now as you can see, different forms of water are there. What can you see here? What do you think is this? Which form of water is this? Let me write the answer. This is nothing but ice cubes. So these are the ice cubes, right? When you keep the water in the tray inside the deep freezing, it becomes this way, ice cubes form. So this is the ice. What is this? What do you think is this? Boiling water? Yes, but what is this? Can you see something coming out from the bowl after the water is heated? Yes. Then what is this called? This is called vapor. This is called vapor. So let me write the answer here. Vapor. Okay, that is done. And what do you think is this in the glass? In the glass, what can you see inside? This is the water. Water itself in the natural form. So let me write it here, water. And then children, what do you think is this? It is a kind of process shown in the picture, don't you think so? But which process is this? Yes, it is an evaporation process. So let me write it here, evaporate. Evaporated. Okay, and I'll just keep it in the blank. So you can see the different forms of water. One where water is in the ice form, another in the vapor form, and then in the original water in its original form, and then water, when the rain falls, water gets collected onto the ground level. Again, when the sun's heat soaks the water, takes it up into the clouds. Now this is called evaporation. So water in the different forms can be seen in the picture, right? So different things exist in the different forms. Some exist as solid, some as liquids, and some as gases. Let us learn more about solids, liquids, and gases. Now, as you can see, solids. So you can see in the picture 3 objects are there in the picture, isn't it so? One is pen, another is eraser, the next is cup. So things such as pen, pencil, eraser have a fixed shape and size. They do not flow and cannot be poured into containers. Such things are called solids. When solids are ground to the powder, they can flow through holes of containers when sprinkled. Example, talcum powder, salt, pepper. Sand also moves inside an hourglass. So my dear students, in this paragraph we clearly understood that we cannot pour the solid in any object unless it is converted into the powder form, right? Now salt is a powder form, obviously. Then you see many cooking varieties are in the powder form. Red chili also comes into the powder form. So when it comes into the powder form, obviously we can sprinkle it, we can keep it in one container, but otherwise solid cannot flow or they cannot be poured in anything, and they do not take the shape of container first of all. So that is what we have to revise. Then coming on to the liquids. Things such as water, oil and milk do not have the fixed shape. They flow easily and take the shape of the container they are poured in. Such things are called liquids. So water, petrol, milk, then blood, these all are the liquid forms. Water is the pure liquid, but other things are also the liquid form. Now if you keep the water into the glass, it will take the shape of glass. Again, if you pour the same water in the bottle, in the water bottle, it will take the shape of that particular bottle, and so on. So liquids take the shape of the container we pour that liquid into, right? So that is what is explained here, and such things are called liquid in short. Now there are the 2 points of difference between the solids and liquids. We will just go through it. Solids have a fixed or definite shape, whereas liquids do not have any definite shape. They take the shape of the container. That is what we saw in the picture as well. Solids do not flow, obviously, because it has the fixed shape. So liquids flow easily. Yes. So when you sprinkle the water, it can flow easily in the direction you keep the force in. So these are the 2 basic differences of points between the solids and liquids. I hope you remember and you will understand it. If you once understand it, you don't have to then memorize it. Now coming on to the gases. A thing that has no shape or size of its own is called a gas. So this is how the basic definition is given for you to understand what is gas. It does not has its shape nor size. Water vapor is a gas. Most gases can be seen. Now water vapor. Now students, let me show it to you again. This is water vapor, right? When you boil the water, it changes into the vapor. So water vapor is also a gas, and most gases cannot be seen. We cannot see oxygen, can we? No. We cannot see carbon dioxide, can we? No. We can just feel that. It is a kind of an abstract noun. We can just feel that, right? We cannot see, we cannot touch it, but still we need oxygen, right? Gases are all around us. Air is the mixture of many gases. So these are the points you will have to remember, that gases, or like air is the mixture of many gases. So there is no one gas. Can you say that oxygen is the air only contains the oxygen? No. Carbon dioxide and many nitrogen, many other gases are there, and with the mixture of which air is formed. Air moves from one place to another, and moving air is called wind. Now you know what is wind, right? Moving air is called wind. We breathe in the air that contains a gas called oxygen. So, like I said, we need oxygen to breathe in. All living things need oxygen to live. Like liquids, gases can also flow. So here, like liquids, gases can also flow. So here you will have to remember that only solids cannot flow. Liquids and gases can flow. So here I have explained you the basic concept of solids, liquids and gases. Not only that, but also we saw two different points between solids and liquids. Now my dear students, here one interesting activity is given in your textbook itself. Let us solve it. Let us have fun solving it for a while. Now let's remember. Sort the following. Write S for solid, L for the liquid and G for gas. So here if you think that a particular object is solid, you will have to write S. If you think the particular thing in the picture is liquid, you will have to write L and G for the gas. I hope you all are ready. Let me zoom in the picture and the textbook for you. Let us concentrate on the first picture. The arrow is towards the water flowing, right? So what do you think water is? Is it solid? Is it liquid or is it gas? Water is obviously liquid. So we will write L in the blank space given here. See, if you have textbook, you can also solve it with me. It will be a lot of fun if you will solve it with me. And you will also come to know how much do you remember and how much you still have to revise the topic. So the arrow was towards the water and water is the liquid. So I have written L for liquid. Moving on to the second picture, it is of sharpener, right? Which you use to sharpen your pencil. It is of sharpener. So what do you think it is? Is it liquid? It flows and it takes the shape of container? No. Is it gas? No. Is it solid? Yes, it is a solid object because it has a fixed shape, unless you break it obviously. It has a fixed shape and size, right? So it is a solid. We will write S for solid here. Now what about question number 3? What is it? Now have you seen this object? Yes. You keep the liquid inside this object to keep it warm, to keep it hot. So does this object changes its shape? No. So this is also a solid. So just we have to write S for the solid. Again the same thing. For the fourth picture, ice cream cone is there. Cone has a fixed shape. Let me tell you, yes. You will say no. Students are confused in this one, but it has the fixed shape unless you gobble it up or eat it, right? Like if you go to purchase the ice cream, the shopkeeper, the ice cream seller will give it to you. It has a fixed shape in the deep freezing it is. So yes, this is also a solid. So we are going to write it here, solid. Now again the next picture is where the arrow is towards the glass, not the water. See, the arrow is towards the glass. This is the glass of water, right? So what do you think glass is? Can we say it is a gas? Glass is not gas. If it was a gas, you would not have glass at your home. You will not be able to hold it. So glass has a particular size and shape. So it is a solid object. So let us write S for solid here. And the last picture, what does it show? What is it? It is a bottle, right? So the arrow is exactly towards the bottle cap or the bottle lid, whatever word you use. But does it has a fixed shape? Yes. So again it is a solid. So we are going to write S for solid. So now I hope you have the perfect idea what is solid, liquid and gas, right? So, and I also hope that those who are having the textbook, they were solving this along with me. So now change of form. Now we are going to understand how solid changes to liquid and liquid into the gas and again gas into the liquid, and these changes, interchanges we are going to learn, understand here. So let's get started. Water freezes to form ice. Ice melts to form water. When water is heated longer, small bubbles start forming. This process is called boiling. Steam rises up from the boiling water. Steam is water in the form of gas. So the process by which water changes into steam on heating is called evaporation. If you hold a lid or a plate above boiling water, the steam touches the lid. The steam then cools down and changes into the tiny water droplets. This is called condensation. Steam condenses to form water. So my dear students, at first if you read this, it will look very much confusing, right? You will just hold your head that what is it written, but it is nothing but what you see in your daily life. So like I said, water freezes to form the ice. When you keep the water into the deep freezing, it will form the ice. So it is called freezing process. When ice melts to form the water, it is called melting process. So my dear students, here the freezing and the melting process is explained in short. When the water is heated longer, small bubbles start forming, and this process is called boiling. So have you seen nowadays, especially in the winter season, your mom gives you boiled water to gargle, to brush your teeth, right? So whenever your mom is boiling the water, bubbles start forming. At that time she comes to know, okay, water is boiled. So that process is called boiling. So steam rises up when the water, from the boiling water. So when you boil the water, slowly the steam gets out of the container. So steam is a water in the form of gas. So that steam is nothing but the water but then it is changed in the form of gas, in the vapor form. If you can see in the picture, everything is clearly depicted, very low, but you might be able to see that steam is rising up slowly. Yes, so that is a gas, nothing else. The process by which water changes into the steam on heating is called evaporation. So when you heat the water and when it boils and changes into the steam, into the vapor, that process is called evaporation process. If you hold a lid or a plate above the boiling water, the steam touches the lid. So my dear students, now let me explain it to you through the picture. As you can see that the lid, someone is holding the lid up right in front of the boiling water. Now slowly the steam goes up and it touches the lid, and when it touches the lid it becomes cool down, and when it becomes cool down, small water droplets are there. Can you see? My cursor is moving. So that process is called condensation. So if the steam again converts into the water droplets, that process is called condensation. Steam condenses to form the water, it cools down to form the water again. Isn't it very easy and interesting? So if you understand it with very much focus, you will be able to surely understand it 100%. So the three forms of water, solid, liquid and gas, can change the one form to another by heating or cooling. So if you can see the picture again, now this is the solid form of the water, which is ice. This is the liquid form of the water, which is water itself, and this is the gas form of the water, it is a vapor, right? So when you heat the ice, it becomes the water, and when you heat the water, it becomes the gas. Again, when the gas cools down, when the vapor cools down, that process is called condensation, and when the liquid you keep into the freezing, it becomes ice. That process is called freezing. It is pretty easy. I will insist you to watch the lecture again and again, so you will have the exact idea of what the explanation is about. So the process by which a liquid changes into the gas on heating is called evaporation. The process by which a gas changes into the liquid on cooling is called condensation, and the process by which a liquid changes into the solid on cooling is called freezing. Yes, sometimes when very cold weather is there in the winter, you say it's freezing. When very cool water, very cold water is there, you touch and you say, oh, water is freezing, right? So it shows how cold, how hot it is. So now one simple activity is there for you to do it. You can just read it and you can do it on your own. We will just revise few keywords for you to remember it. It is also very much important for you to solve the objectives as well as subjective of this chapter. Solid. A thing that has a definite shape and size is called solid. So now my dear students, I want you all to repeat after me. You will have to just repeat after me one time. Solid. A thing that has a definite shape and size is called a solid. Liquid. A thing that takes the shape of its container is called a liquid. I hope you are repeating after me. Gas. A thing that has no shape or size of its own is called a gas. Melting. The process by which a solid changes into a liquid on heating is called melting. Then comes evaporation. Students, please repeat after me, and if you will watch the lecture again and again, you will repeat again and again, then you don't have to write and remember. You will be able to watch the lecture as if you are watching any video, and you will be able to remember it very easily. Evaporation. The process by which a liquid changes into a gas on heating is called evaporation. Condensation. Yes, it is pronounced as condensation. The process by which a gas changes into liquid on cooling is called condensation. And the last one is freezing. So the process by which a liquid changes into a solid on cooling is called freezing. So my dear students, today we have completed the revision of chapter number 5. Perhaps in the next lecture we will start with the revision this way of chapter number 6. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of revision where we have covered each and every topic. So this way if you will revise, then you don't have to worry about objective and subjective separately. You will be able to answer on the spot even if you are asked, if you have understood the chapter this way. So with this, I end my today's session for chapter number 5. Thanks for watching the lecture. Have a nice day, and also stay safe, keep yourself safe, and keep following all the lectures. Goodbye, take care.